So I just want to do a little bit on change today. Now we can look at this whether you are a player or a coach. So these are the criteria that are absolutely essential if we want to take on swing changes, or any change for that matter. It could be a life change, it could be a business decision or a relationship decision. So for change, we need to have a want, a need, or a desire. And that want, need, or desire has to be pretty strong, because ultimately change is as a difficult concept for anybody in any activity. In particular, what we're talking about in golf is the want, need, or desire to be so strong that we'd be motivated enough to listen for hours to someone like me, giving instructions, giving feedback, and to stay upbeat, excited and motivated because the outcome was going to give us something that was worth having. You don't necessarily have to have a powerful desire and need. It will be something like you could get a job as a golf coach in Spain if you could talk Spanish, but you've got to be fluent in 2 weeks. So that you could go on a 2-week intensive language course. So that's a need, even though it's fulfilling, maybe a desire. But knowing that we're going to have to stand there and make all these strange movements that are so different from those that we've done a million times over, to know that they're correct, which again, when you work with someone that knows what they're talking about, they will be correct. There's few of us around. And then you've got to build those into habits, practice, and then put into play. And we'll go into that in a little bit detail. So when, as a coach, you're interviewing the client, then it's about asking all of those questions that are going to assess whether they have the right need, the right want, or the most powerful of desire that will give them the motivation to see the job through. Because it's in everybody's interests, both for the client, the player, and you, the coach, to make sure that that success is enjoyed, and of course that then goes out and people tell everybody about that success, whether the client says that to his friends or whether you use it as a case history. So then what resources do we have? Now, as far as the client goes, then the resource that you want is the coach, a coach that knows enough technical knowledge and can manage that project. Now, I'll do a separate tape a little bit later on about what particular skills a golf coach should have that guarantee that you're going to get your success. But unfortunately, that's going to leave you searching around. You may have some difficulty, and that again is what YGA is about, what we're doing YGA for, why it's going to become a very powerful coaching body, because it's going to guarantee that those things are offered to you. So we've got internal and external resources. So the internal resources may just be, do I have a belief that this is possible? And again, so this is client and coach based. The coach has to discover whether the client has the beliefs to support this change. The external ones could be things like the coach, teaching aids, practice facilities, time, money. So all of these things, again, have to be sorted out at interview level. We've again got the learning, teaching part of it, and obviously the feedback, internal and external. Now, so the coaches that will be watching this already have a great understanding of what feedback is and how to deliver it in such a way that will encourage learning and could be passed on in such a way that the client becomes so much better at feedback themselves. So it's a little bit in a game as well in that aspect. So that will also go back on the qualities of the coach when the client's looking for a great coach. We've then got to make it into a habit. So this is where we're into the number of repetitions. As far as golfers are concerned, we're talking about if you did something 21 times correctly and perfectly, you have the beginnings of change. And these are very much ballpark figures, and they will depend on the difficulty of the task in hand. But then we're talking about 5,000 repetitions to make a habit, so something will happen automatically. So you can just look at your target and go, and about 10,000 to become quite expert in that. So that's a fair few repetitions, but also they're perfect repetitions. Okay, they're not floundering around doing one thing one way and one thing the other way. It's doing it the right way each and every time with intensity and getting the correct feedback from it. So once we've made that habit, then we have to contextualize it. So that means taking all that practice and put it on the golf course and make sure that it's happening at an automatic level, but automatically when you play, not just in the practice area. And then of course when you've done that, you'll be able to look at the product that originally what you wanted and desired and discover whether you have it. So you're going to reassess the position. What have you achieved? Have you achieved everything you wanted to or more? And then what do we need to do more that's going to give us the change? Or once we contextualize this and see what we get, we reassess what we think about that, we might then discover that that's not enough, we want more, and then we've got to go back on the cycle. So look, it's a very quick rundown on something that 9 times out of 10 is a lot more elongated than that. So in that respect, I've probably done it a little bit of disservice, because each one of these steps can be very long and arduous if not done correctly. So make sure that reward is going to be worth this effort. And I look forward to telling you more about what you should look out for in a great golf coach. So thank you very much for listening. See you again soon.